The Lost World Jurassic Park 2 movie synopsis by Zillur Movies recapped. The film opens with an incident on the island of Isla Sorna, codenamed Website B, by the Ingen firm, positioned within the neighborhood of Isla Nublar, the place the movie, Jurassic Park, passed off. A British couple has stopped alongside the coast to chill out, and their daughter has gone off on her personal. She quickly encounters a bunch of compsognathus or compies that assault her, a lot to the shock of her household after they discover her after listening to her scream loudly. The movie then cuts to Ian Malcolm, who is named to the mansion of John Hammond, the former head of Ingen. Malcolm meets Hammond's grandchildren Lex and Tim there, whom he encountered on Isla Nublar within the first movie. Malcolm additionally meets Hammond's nephew, Peter Ludlow, who has taken over Ingen as its new chief gov officer. Each commerce barbs over the aftermath of the incidents at Jurassic Park, with Malcolm chastising Ludlow for overlaying up what actually occurred, and Ludlow claiming Malcolm went public telling tales, of which Malcolm counters he instructed the reality however took no cost for what he revealed. Malcolm then is allowed to go to Hammond, who's now bedridden. Malcolm is quickly shocked when Hammond tells him about Website B. Isla Nublar was the situation for Jurassic Park. However, Website B was the place the animals had been initially created and bred. Nevertheless, within the aftermath of Hurricane Clarissa, Website B was evacuated and the animals let free to roam free, with them inhabiting and surroundings freed from human interference. This shocks Malcolm as he had assumed that the dinosaurs ought to have died, since they had been bred with a lysine deficiency that wanted to be equipped by medical means. Hammond explains he has no concept why they're nonetheless alive, and shocks Malcolm when he explains that a analysis crew has been recruited to conduct research on this topic, and that brings him to Malcolm, who Hammond needs to be the fourth member of the crew. Hammond then explains that after the incidents at Jurassic Park, Ingen has been on the verge of Chapter 11 for a while, with the board wanting to use the remaining dinosaurs on Website B for revenue functions. Hammond was in a position to maintain them from doing so till the incident with the British household. After this, management of Ingen was taken away from Hammond, and he explains that his plans for the analysis crew are seen as a doable deterrent for no matter his nephew Peter has deliberate. Malcolm, after all, refuses Hammond's supply, and plans to ensure that the analysis crew doesn't set foot on the island. Nevertheless, he quickly finds that his former girlfriend Sarah Harding, Julianne Moore, has already arrived, with the extra members to satisfy her in 3 days. Malcolm then leaves planning to rescue Sarah from Website B. Malcolm's subsequent cease as a storage owned by Eddie Carr, Richard Schiff, who has been prepping autos and tools for the expedition. Malcolm additionally meets Nick Van Owen, Vince Vaughn, who was planning to take video and photographic footage for Hammond's expedition. Malcolm is quickly after joined by his daughter Kelly, Vanessa Lee Chester. Kelly needs to return alongside on the expedition, however Malcolm explains she will be able to go, and the two have a small altercation earlier than Malcolm sends her on her manor, telling her to not take heed to him. Malcolm, Eddie and Nick transport 2 Mercedes SUVs and a modified RV to Costa Rica, after which head to Website B. Nevertheless, the ferryman refuses to wait anchor close to the islands, claiming that some folks wandered too near the island chain and had been by no means heard from once more. By means of translation, Nick explains that the islands are generally known as Los Cinco Muertes, the 5 deaths. As soon as on the island, Eddie, Malcolm and Nick Finn Sarah utilizing a homing beacon on her backpack. They encounter her taking footage of a herd of Stegosaurus, with Sarah seeming to be completely advantageous. Shortly after assembly up along with her, smoke could be seen from the path of the RV, and the group finds that Kelly has stowed away. This shock is short-lived as instantly, a fleet of Ingen helicopters could be seen flying in autos and tools. The crew is headed up by Peter Ludlow, and led by Roland Tembo, a big game hunter who's main the expedition to spherical up varied dinosaurs for Ingen. After the seize task is accomplished, Roland heads off to attempt to kill a Tyrannosaurus Rex, which he considers his charge for the task. Roland as an alternative finds an toddler Tyrannosaur, and has it chained, with the hope that its cries will deliver its dad and mom again. In the meantime, Ludlow has organized a satellite TV for PC uplink to Ingen's boardroom, the place he's making an attempt to drum up a gross sales pitch for Ingen's newest plan to get itself out of Chapter 11. Take John Hammond's dream of a Jurassic Park, however constructed in a extra handy place. Ludlow tells of his dream for Jurassic Park, San Diego, when instantly, the encampment is attacked by the dinosaurs that had been caged moments in the past, having been freed by Nick Van Owen and the others. On his manner again to the RV, Nick finds the toddler Tyrannosaur, and noting that it appears injured, talks Sarah into taking it again to the RV to be mended. As soon as again on the RV, Kelly notes that the Rex is making sounds that might entice different animals. Eager to be someplace secure, Malcolm has Eddie take Kelly right into a particular perched cage excessive up within the timber some methods off. As they appear out over the timber, a well-known sound reaches Malcolm's ears, and he then heads again to the RV. Quickly after, the Tyrannosaurs come for his or her toddler, and it's returned to them. Nevertheless, they then proceed to push the RV off the close by cliffside. Eddie heads to their rescue and manages to avoid wasting Malcolm, Sarah and Nick, however not earlier than he's eaten by the Rexes. The group quickly meets up with Ludlow and Roland's teams, and now must work collectively to get off the island. The one solution to radio for communications now's on the predominant facility within the inside of the island. Ludlow warns them that will probably be harmful, due to scans having proven that velociraptors are positioned within the island inside. The group then units out for the inside of the island. One night, very near their vacation spot, the T-Rexes occur to search out them. As the feminine chases after one group, Roland makes an attempt to kill the male. Nevertheless, he quickly finds that somebody has eliminated the shells from his gun, and he as an alternative makes use of tranquilizers to take down the male. Within the confusion, some males scatter right into a discipline of tall grass, the place they're taken down by velociraptors hiding within the discipline. Malcolm, Kelly, Sarah and Nick find yourself making their solution to the deserted predominant facility. Whereas Nick radios for a rescue crew, Malcolm, Sarah and Kelly find yourself making an attempt to fend off a bunch of raptors which have chased them into the ability. They handle to flee, together with Nick, when a helicopter arrives on the facility. Because the helicopter takes off, they see that a group has additionally come for Roland, Peter Ludlow, and among the remaining survivors. The crew has additionally had a large cage rigged to move the tranquilized male T-Rex to a ready ship. Each teams arrive in San Diego, California, the place Malcolm and Sarah rapidly head to Ingen's waterfront facility, the place Ludlow has organized a last-minute press convention to herald the arrival of the male T-Rex as the principal attraction for the still-in-construction Jurassic Park, San Diego. Nevertheless, as an alternative of going easily, the ship the creature is on crashes into the docks. Ludlow, Malcolm, Sarah and a few staff go aboard, solely to search out dismembered items of the crew, and the cage with the Rex damaged aside. All of the sudden, the doorways to the cargo maintain burst open, and the male T-Rex emerges, making his manner off the ship and into the town of San Diego. Sarah and Malcolm quickly discover a surviving crew member who explains that after they had been in transport of the T-Rex, it stopped respiratory, so a further drug was given. Nevertheless, being unfamiliar with the T-Rex, correct dosage was not identified. Due to this, the animal is dehydrated. Sarah figures that the T-Rex will first discover water, after which search for meals. They obtain phrase that Ludlow introduced the toddler Tyrannosaur as effectively, and transported it in his private jet to the still-in-construction park. The two head there to retrieve it, in hopes to make use of it to lure the T-Rex again to the docks. After recovering the toddler, the two discover the T-Rex rampaging via the town. Upon listening to and smelling the toddler, the T-Rex follows the Malcolm and Sarah again to the docks. Ludlow, upon listening to what has occurred, orders that the grown-up male be shot, and that the toddler be recovered. When he sees Malcolm and Sarah carrying the toddler to the cargo ship, he rapidly follows, solely to search out the toddler within the cargo maintain. Ludlow makes an attempt to lure the toddler out, however quickly after, the grown-up male enters the maintain, and injures Ludlow, earlier than permitting the toddler to kill him. Sarah then launches a tranquilizer dart on the T-Rex, which subdues it as Malcolm closes the maintain's doorways. Within the aftermath, the Navy and a brand new crew escort the ship again to Isla Sorna, as Malcolm and Sarah relaxation in entrance of the TV. John Hammond additionally releases a press release requesting that with Ingen's secret island of dinosaurs now being realized, that Costa Rica assist set up the island as a nature protect, to maintain people from setting foot on it. Summary's analysis crew is shipped to the Jurassic Park website B Island to review the dinosaurs there, whereas an Ingen crew approaches with one other agenda. A analysis crew is shipped to an island 87 miles away from the earlier House of Jurassic Park, to dock and photograph the now liberated dinosaurs. Nevertheless, Ingen, the bioengineering firm, has dispatched one other bigger crew to the identical island to catch, sedate, and transport some dinosaurs to San Diego, the place they are going to be utilized in a brand new Jurassic Park location. However, life at all times finds a manner. Will each groups return to the mainland with profitable findings? Or will one other tragedy happen? 4 years after the overall disaster in Jurassic Park, 1993, the now humbled entrepreneur, John Hammond, needs to review the progress of the prehistoric residing relics that roam free on the secluded island of Isla Sorna. Ingen's Dino Engineering website B. Reluctantly, Dr. Ian Malcolm joins the expedition within the reptile-infested locale, alongside together with his paleontologist girlfriend, Sarah Harding, the documentarian, Nick Van Owen, and the tech expert, Eddie Carr, unbeknownst to them that Hammond's nephew, Peter, is hell-bent on capturing a wide selection of primeval species for his San Diego prehistoric zoo. Nevertheless, who can harness the uncooked energy of the final word apex predator, the Tyrannosaurus rex? 4 years after the failure of Jurassic Park on Isla Nublar, John Hammond reveals to Ian Malcolm that there was one other island, website B, on which dinosaurs had been bred earlier than being transported to Isla Nublar. Left alone for the reason that catastrophe, the dinosaurs have flourished, and Hammond is anxious that the world see them of their pure surroundings earlier than their exploited. With the obvious public discovery of the website B manufacturing island stuffed with dinosaurs, John Hammond assembles a crew to go to and dock the world earlier than it's exploited by Ingen. Included within the 4 particular person crew are Dr. Ian Malcolm and his girlfriend, Dr. Sarah Harding. When the crew reaches the island, they quickly uncover the presence of one other group of individuals. This new group nonetheless are usually not there for organic knowledge, however, as an alternative have one thing extra sinister in thoughts. After a sequence of occasions, each teams grow to be stranded when all their communication tools is misplaced. It's then that the fear actually begins as each team scramble for his or her lives. This film picks up 4 years after the catastrophe at Jurassic Park. On a close-by island, dinosaurs have secretly survived and been allowed to roam free. However, now there's a extra ominous risk from Ingen, a plan to seize and produce the dinosaurs to the mainland. John Hammond, who has misplaced management of his Ingen firm, sees an opportunity to redeem himself for his previous errors and sends an expedition led by Ian Malcolm to succeed in the island earlier than the mercenary crew will get there. The two teams confront one another within the face of maximum hazard and should crew up for their very own survival in a race towards time. The Misplaced World. Jurassic Park is directed by Steven Spielberg and tailored to screenplay by David Cope from the novel written by Michael Crichton. It stars Jeff Goldblum, Julianne Moore, Pete Postlethwaite, Vince Vaughn, Richard Schiff, Peter Stormare, Vanessa Lee Chester, Arliss Howard and Harvey Jason. Music is scored by John Williams and cinematography by Janusz Kaminski. 4 years on from the horrors of Jurassic Park on Isla Nublar, it transpires that there's a second dinosaur website on Isla Sorna. Dr. Ian Malcolm, Goldblum, is compelled to go off to face the horrors as soon as once more when he learns that his paleontologist girlfriend, Sarah Harding, Moore, is already on the island as a forerunner to a crew John Hammond, Richard Attenborough, is assembling to dock the dinosaurs of their habitat. As soon as although the issues quickly come up, particularly when a crew from Ingen arrive with different concepts in regards to the dinosaurs on their minds. Given the huge success of Jurassic Park in 1993, a sequel was inevitable. What transpires is just about extra of the identical. It's totally secure movie making by Spielberg. Coming off of the emotional exertions of his final movie, Schindler's Checklist, few can deny that the director was entitled to wind down with the misplaced world mission. There was, in spite of everything, nothing secure about Schindler's. However, though Jurassic 2 is a massively gratifying household blockbuster, a jazzy little bit of high-tech enjoyable, it lacks the requisite brains to make it an inspiring sequel. System follows the identical path. People in peril on the island, with some added and new dinosaurs, double T-Rex a bonus, after which the twist within the narrative sees some monster peril come to San Diego, King Kong model, for the finale. There's interpreventing between the great dudes led by Malcolm and the unhealthy guys led by the weasel Peter Ludlow. Howard, who's Hammond's conniving nephew and present head of Ingen. Household points additionally function, after all, since that is Spielberg in spite of everything, whereas the risks of tampering with science message stays as robust as ever. Forged are ably led by a witty Goldblum, who's a reassuring presence carried over from the primary movie, and the tech credits are, as anticipated, very excessive. Some scenes soar, resembling a sequence shot from beneath a pane of glass that begins to crack beneath the load of a personality. Others not so, resembling having Malcolm's teenage daughter flip into Nadia Comaneci for one credulity-stretching scene. However, all instructed, it is an untrustworthy blockbuster purely aimed on the target market who helped to see it make over $600 million in revenue. Protected typically pays UC, and as sequels go, it is one of many higher ones within the 90s. It is thrilling if intellectually stunted. 7/10.